Let's Lead is a program which we describe as experiential and project-based, where students travel around the city we find the best place to learn. That often goes beyond the city, depending on what we're trying to learn. For example, if we're learning about level of government, we might go to the City Hall or down to Regina and look at where government is actually taking place and learn in those settings.
Let's Lead Nīkānētān. It is a Cree and Michif focus within our program, but we also talk a lot about all other cultures, and we're very culturally responsive within Let's Lead. So it's important that we go and explore different cultures within the city and the cultures within our classroom. So it's really important that we are open and that we discuss it, and we break down some of those cultural lenses that some of the students have, and we are very open in a class about it.
Our program is specifically targeted to students who have a level of need. That need might be financial, it might be some physical challenges that means they struggle in a regular kind of classroom. Often the financial piece is the biggest one. Our program provides all the equipment students need. They just need to bring the clothes on their back. Yeah, a typical day is kind of hard, or maybe a typical week. Often we have probably 2 to 3 field trips a week. We often try to spend as little time in the classroom as we can. There are some things we have to. It's hard to do solving linear equations. You have to sit down in a classroom at a desk and do those. But we try and find the best place to learn about things. So we are often walking different places, traveling different places to learn in the best way that we can. Yes, we see a lot of students that are on the ADHD spectrum. They need to move, they want to move. They're not stuck in a desk for 5 hours a day in our program. We're often out moving and learning different places and different things, and that does really excite them, so they really are more interested in their learning because they get to engage in it, and that does influence how excited and engaged they are in the learning.
I think a lot of students who come to this program maybe haven't quite found their spot or found their niche, or at times maybe haven't felt included. And sometimes that can be because they haven't had the right work given to them. So we're not in desks, and not that that is a negative thing, but we are focusing on taking our energy, and some people who have a lot of energy might need to take that energy and go do something with it. So there are a lot of students who maybe haven't quite connected with a regular classroom, who really kind of come into their full potential, and they say, oh, I am smart, I am capable, because they're learning in a different way.
Teaching in this sort of program versus teaching in a regular classroom, I actually find that you're very conscious of what curriculum goals you're teaching. Every activity we do, we meet multiple curricular outcomes. So for example, in September we did a water walk. So we started at the school, walked down to the river, and then went for about a 4-kilometer walk along the river, stopping at different spots. Each one of those stops we incorporated social studies, math, English language arts, and then the base is for the science water curriculum. So every activity we do, we hit multiple curricular outcomes. The job of the teacher really becomes knowing your curriculum well and being able to fit in each curricular outcome into whatever activity you're doing. I think we actually do a very good job of hitting all the curricular outcomes, and I think we definitely cover the curriculum, and we're very conscious of being sure that we do.
We do a lot of co-creating, so we'll talk about what we want to get out of the project based on the curricular outcomes that will be shown for the students. The students will also have to research the curriculum to find out what they will be teaching other students, what they will be learning themselves, and a lot of it is done together. At the end, we use a lot of criteria checklists, if you will. The students at the end will reflect on their project, and there will be a section for them to say how they did, whether it's beginning to meet, meeting, or exceeding, and then we will have that chance as well. So it is like in a regular classroom when you get a BM or E, a beginning to meet, a meeting, or an exceeding, but we do that together and we create our expectations together, and at the end we do it as a reflection. Student responsibility and student teaching is number one. We are facilitators, so it might be a little different than some people are used to. We are not always at the front of the classroom, direct instruction. The students themselves are the teachers. We believe that the best way to share your knowledge is to teach it. So then our students become experts and they are going to schools and teaching and being those leaders. A big part of it is we go to schools to teach Métis and Michif values and culture. The last couple months we've went to about 7 different schools and we've read The Fiddle Dancer, which is a Métis story, and we speak in both different languages, or we try to introduce some new terms. And we'll do some reading, and we'll teach jigging, and we'll teach different dances and ways of living and knowing.
Academically, for those students who aren't necessarily engaged in a regular program, the enthusiasm they show for education is much higher in our sort of a program than it is in a regular sit in your desk, do worksheet kind of classroom. My dad was a teacher actually, and he taught me one thing. He said, if you ever see a student who is struggling or who isn't engaged or maybe just seems like they're not having a good time, put them in a position of leadership and you'll be so surprised to see how they excel. And that's what this program is all about. It's maybe you haven't reached your full potential, maybe you're confused, maybe you don't know your identity yet, maybe you're willing to try something new and never been offered it. This program gives you that chance to step into that leadership position. And to me, if you have the confidence to be a leader, you can tackle anything in life.